Good morning. Our top story today. After a challenge to the leadership, Labour supporters rally insisting Gordon Brown is the man to lead them to the next election. And anyway, they're stuck with him. Our Guy News reporters were catching up with members of the government as they came out of hiding.
The distraction by, unfortunately, a couple of our colleagues. I mean, we've got a choice here. Do we get on with our job, which is what the Prime Minister's doing?
But the country will think we've lost our marbles.
So, you're all finally coming out and supporting the Prime Minister. Where were you earlier on when he needed you?
Well, Kate, let me be clear. A, I've not got a cup of coffee like you have, but secondly, I'm in Millbank to tell the public what steps we're taking to make sure the weather doesn't bring transport to a grind.
Why is it taking so long for ministers to come forward like you to support the Prime Minister? Were you not sure which way the wind was blowing?
Oh no, you only asked me about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we've got to get on with the job now of taking the fight to the Tories.
You don't want to be Prime Minister?
I've got a great job as, being Health Secretary is the best privilege.
The most dispiriting thing, I couldn't agree with you more.
We have a leader, we elected him.
But let me just ask you very quickly about your brother, who himself, we remember, almost started a leadership challenge. Does he support Gordon Brown at this stage?
I'm sure he is supporting Gordon Brown.
We should be concentrating on the business of government and getting through the recession. The Prime Minister and I met this afternoon and we discussed how we take forward economic policies.
All the discussions I had
Was he angry though?
No, like the rest of us, he's very surprised, but getting on with the job.
You know, I'm even getting to the point myself where I'm thinking my own party in government looks to be in disarray, and I'm starting to think that maybe the sooner the general election comes, the better it would be.
What was the Prime Minister's reaction? Did he go into one of his rages?
No, I didn't go into one of his rages. Actually, I only spoke to the Prime Minister this morning.
That's not right. I spent yesterday, like other members of the government, on the business of government. Today we're getting on with the business of government.
The only person to have a worse week than Gordon was the BBC's Nick Robinson. On the Daily Politics, Robinson had already had a Michael Fish-type moment live, as seen in this week's Sky News special.
I came back to these shivering shores to read stories that there's another coup being mounted against the Prime Minister. And from a position of zero knowledge, I'd like to say to you, I don't believe a word of it.
And you're right, not to believe a word of it. Shall we move on?
All right, bye.
I'm just going to go straight to Westminster and join our political editor, Nick Robinson.
Two former senior cabinet ministers, Jeff Hoon and Pat Hewitt, are texting all of their Labour MP colleagues to call for a secret ballot on Gordon Brown's leadership.
Let me just first of all say, that'll teach me.
But then, later in the day, Nick managed to add to his own misery. He infuriated Jack Straw by announcing, unsubstantiated, that Jack was a potential supporter of the plot to oust the Prime Mentalist.
The claim is that Harriet Harman, David Miliband, Douglas Alexander, Bob Ainsworth, Jack Straw and Jim Murphy were already in the right circumstances to call for a change of leadership.
I was named by Mr. Nick Robinson of the BBC. He sent me an apology for the fact he never bothered to check that claim, and he's now himself rowing back from it on his own blog and what he's saying today. It was a very substandard piece of journalism.
Ouch. Nick has now apologised to Jack Straw.
Let me just first of all say, that'll teach me.
In all the excitement, we could have forgotten Monday. Labour weren't the only ones to have a gaff-filled week. Cameron was flip-flopping on marriage tax breaks. First he said he wasn't committed to them.
It's something within a parliament I would definitely hope to do, but I'm not today able to make that promise because today we face this vast budget deficit.
Followed by a rapid press release to reassure the base.
We are absolutely committed to introducing a recognition of marriage in the tax system during the course of the next Parliament.
At least it made for some good one-liners at PMQ.
I thought he might mention marriage, so let me say this to him. The difference between me and the Prime Minister is this. When I lean across and say, I love you, darling, I really mean it. The only divorce that's taken place is between this Prime Minister and reality.
For him to talk about love and marriage today, when he is the person who cannot give a straight answer on the married couple's allowance, whether he can't say I do or I don't when it comes to
it's an illusion.
Police are looking for an ageing dyed-in-the-wool Labour MP after kidnappers released this video of a man friends call Preza Tujag.
Happy New Year, Go Forth supporters. I've been today.
Preza was last seen wandering the streets, raving about climate change. Friends say Preza was incoherent and desperate.
And then I saw that poster, you know, with Cameron looking down on you.
The kidnappers released this video this evening, reportedly demanding a ransom of Pauline Prescott's scalp.
Are calling for a secret ballot on Labour's leadership. They are joining the other Bitterites led by Charles Clarke. Can I suggest they go back to their constituency parties, put their views, let them have a secret ballot, and then they'll know the result.
And now we go over to our senior Yemen correspondent, Tory Bear.
Hello, Guido from sunny Yemen. I've come here to try and infiltrate a terrorist group. As far as I'm aware, this season's must-have fashion accessory is designer comedy terrorist pants. I'm yet to get hold of a pair, but I'm working on it. It's Tory Bear reporting from Yemen. Back to the studio.
And finally, your moment of zen.
He then started to swear, shouting out wanker. He was promptly arrested and taken to a police station here at Birmingham New Street.
But it's not just the crime or even the antisocial behaviour. It's the angry, harsh culture of incivility that seems to be all around us.
I'm a wanker, and it does me good like it bloody well should. I'm a wanker, and I'm always pulling my hood.
Over to Westminster Magistrates for breaking news on Harriet Harman.
I find you guilty.